You want to know what guys really think and talk about behind closed doors? Look no further. Welcome to the Other Guys Podcasts. You'll most likely be offended, but you'll probably laugh too. So, enjoy.
Okay. Welcome to the Other Guys Podcast. This is a helpline. For those of you that don't know what the helpline is, Kirk, why don't you give a little bit of an explanation to the folks out there?
So the helpline is our bona fide way to help people, mostly young, scared men who have problems in their personal lives. Could also be women, but mostly men who write into us. And we give our sage advice to help them become better people and to solve these issues. So far, we haven't had anybody complain about us giving bad advice. So we're at 100% success rate in our mind so far. High five.
That deserves a 5, yeah.
There it is.
Okay.
Let's work on that high five next time.
Yeah, that definitely gonna need some help. So yeah, let's dig into some people's problems because there's a world full of them, and we're going to take them on one at a time. It's kind of like zombies. There's a lot of them.
And there keeps getting more of them. It's like a disease.
Yeah, it's a virus.
Or a virus.
Virus, yeah.
Well, it could be a disease too, right?
Yeah. And we're the cure with our...
Yeah, like the band The Cure. It's a pretty good band. Did they ever cure anything other than like happiness? They're like, well, let's be sad.
I get them mixed up with the Cranberries.
Why is that? Because the C's?
Maybe. Yeah, let's... You ready to help?
They have a song called Zombie, like you were saying.
God, now you're just fucking...
Going full circle, man.
Okay. So let's go full circle on these problems. I want to get one that's a little seasonal. Are you ready for some seasonal help?
Sure.
Something that's specific to the season.
Christmas, or are we talking?
Christmas. Yeah. This is
Kwanzaa?
No, we're gonna
Hanukkah?
It's that time of the year. But Christmas.
Secular holiday time?
It's a holiday.
Cool.
So the question is, and this is from a guy named Maldonko. That's a username, so who knows? I do not recognize gender. But the question is, what to get someone for Christmas who's dying? So
like they're dying soon, or like how everybody's dying eventually? Or?
Well, let me get into the...
So it's like a terminal illness? Or?
So here's the thing. So here's the question. This may be my father-in-law's last Christmas. I never met my mother-in-law. She died when their kids were younger. He's in his 60s. What can I get him to help him feel special? He can't eat most food from chemo, nausea, and is the kind of guy who has everything he needs or wants, except good health. And is already trying to give away all the things he has. We're planning a Christmas dinner together, but we don't have something to hand him as far as tangible gift goes to include him when everyone is unwrapping something.
Yeah.
Any advice or tips would be great.
I don't normally always advocate drugs, but get this guy some like nice drugs.
Like legal drugs or shit off the street?
Well, I mean, if they're Canadian, as we are.
Yeah.
You can get legal marijuana, but like, who cares? This guy's last Christmas.
Yeah.
If you gotta go on the black market to get him some sweet ganja, like, do that.
Yeah.
Get him the best possible weed or whatever, edibles, HTC oil. Mm-hmm. He's got to do some dabs.
Yeah.
Like, throw it in his food. Don't tell him. Just let him have a fucking good time.
Yeah, that's one.
I think that
ease the pain. I'm assuming that
would ease the pain. He'd forget in that moment that he's ill. He would just like giggle to himself, remember old times.
Might I add a little something more? Like I'm on board with your drug thing. I think, listen, if you're near the end and maybe you haven't tried drugs, maybe you are, you're not, fucking see where it goes. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to die? Because that's actually going to happen. So I want me to add a little bit more, little something, like your appetite. Want me to tell you what the main course would be?
So you're gonna make him do more drugs?
No. It wouldn't be more drugs.
He says he can't eat. Normally that's like a thing because the nausea.
Yeah.
From like chemo.
Yeah.
But like I think weed is a good counterbalance to that because it gives you an appetite.
So you know what else I think he also needs?
What?
Because his wife died. He needs pussy. He needs get him an escort.
Okay, I was thinking that too. But like, it's like, would you want to get your dad like a prostitute?
Father-in-law.
Or father-in-law?
He hasn't like his wife died, and now he has cancer.
No, I'm just saying.
Fucking-
I came to my mind, and I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Or just get him like a stripper or something. What if
Okay.
he doesn't have the
He can't get it up.
or just the fortitude, like having intercourse that sort of state is probably difficult.
Okay.
But yeah, give him something to give him a good time,
Yeah.
or like
So drugs, strippers. What else? I would get him a. The guy. Apparently, he says he has everything he's ever wanted. I would. You know what I would do? I would grill him and be like, "Hey, man, you got a bucket list. What are some things you want to do? Like, have you ever done? Haven't done? And start checking them off.
Yeah, or like, who's your favorite celebrity currently alive?
And then email
And
that
then
person.
get them to talk to them. Like, if it's Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, I'm Mick Jagger. Oh, I'm sad that you're dying, Like that kind of thing. I don't know. We would maybe talk like that. But,
Yeah.
and I think that would be like, other than your kids sad that you're dying, if you found out that Mick Jagger or Paul McCartney or whoever is sad that you're passing away and sends you a nice, farewell kind of thing, plays you Blackbird on the guitar, you would be a pretty nice going away present.
No. I think I think definitely. Here's the thing: the cool thing about knowing when you're gonna die, or at least seeing an end, is that you have a timeline and you can obviously maybe you're not physically able to do shit, but I think you should be able to do things that you were like on the fence about. Right, so you know what? If you've never ridden a motorcycle, if you've never flown a plane, if you've never swam with the fishes, or
punched a shark in the face,
I think you need to do that shit. So, if I was so as a Christmas gift, I'd say, find out what he's hasn't done, and get him to, and drugs and pussy, right?
Or a VR headset that has like him having sex with people. Like in going places he's never been, right?
Or a sex robot.
Sex robot, that would be
sex robot.
We always kind of come back around to sex robots.
It's the perfect holiday
so
gift.
a VR headset where he can go wherever he wants, have sex wherever he wants, and a sexy robot that's gonna be swirling on his dick,
Yeah.
So that's like, what else can you possibly want in that situation?
Yeah. Okay, I think we legitimately solved this problem.
Yeah, I think. We didn't solve the problem, but we.
you know what? If you really want to be like, depending on the type of cancer, I guess the best gift would be a cure, right?
Yeah. But we can only do so much here at the Other Guys podcast. So we wish them all the best, and we hope you get those.
In general, fuck cancer. I got to say that.
Yeah, right in the ass, especially rectum cancer.
Yep.
Sorry, you should have said rectal cancer. Rectum.
Yeah.
It's the wrong.
Wrong
word
okay, so anyways, you know what? Drugs, pussy, and do bucket list goals.
Kevin, if you had like a bucket list thing that you think that
I do have a bucket list. We've talked about this.
I know, but what like when you're very old?
Yes.
What do you think that's still there that you haven't done yet that you think you could get away with as an old man?
When I get older, if I haven't done certain drugs by then, that's when I'm doing them.
It's like you're gonna pull out the acid then.
Also, you know what? I feel as an older gentleman, I can get away with a couple of like I can do crimes.
Sure,
I can get away because what are they gonna do? They're gonna slap an 80. Well, I guess they've done that, but put an 80-year-old guy into jail. But
who was that again?
I don't know, a doctor.
Dr. Huxtable.
Huxtable. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's what that guy needs to do.
As long as you haven't racked up like all these previous life crimes and you're just doing them as they come.
Oh yeah, it would be like a last day kind of shit.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what movie I saw for the first time that I think this guy. You ever seen Vanishing Point? It's been a long time since I don't even remember. But you ever seen Vanishing Point?
I thought that was a TV show.
No. It's a movie in the 70s. Basic storyline: guy has a Charger and takes a bunch of speed and drives down to California.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a movie you'd like.
Oh, it's one of those movies.
Was Burt Reynolds in that or something?
No.
Sounds like a
Barry
Manilow.
No, it's a fucking
Barry Gibb.
It's a 70s actor. Barry Newman. Barry Newman.
Gary Newman.
Yeah.
Like, you mean Gary Newman?
No, this is a different guy.
Different guy.
Anyways,
Do you know what happened to Gary Newman?
AIDS?
He turned into Gary Oldman. It's a true story.
I think I heard that one. Okay, I want to dig into the next problem. Are you ready? This is from a user called KDog137.
This isn't my actual or any of ours email.
No. So the question is, what to tell roommates that I'm moving out. So the question is, I'm moving out of my apartment at the end of the semester because I didn't feel comfortable living with them amongst other reasons. I didn't tell them sooner because it would only make things more awkward / uncomfortable. Well, the time for me to move out is quickly approaching and I have no idea what to say to them. So what do I tell them?
Closing time. One last call for alcohol. No, I get just straight up tell them, right? Be honest with them. I mean, like, maybe you should let them know, like, what kind of roommates they were like, because then maybe they don't realize that they were kind of shitty or whatever.
Isn't there like a legal
Some
thing?
people aren't self-aware. Like, I went to go use the washroom today. I didn't have to poop or anything, but I noticed the last person left up the thing for the toilet paper, and like they'd thrown out a roll, but not replace the roll. And that seems like that's what you should do when you're the person who uses the last bit of toilet paper. So in my head, I'm like, those,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I think some people they do things, but don't realize the how they affect other people, especially in your roommate situations. Like, I'm sure I do tons of stuff like that annoys my roommates.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like, most people, unless you're like clearly stating, like, this is the issues I have, or like, and it's hard too, because it's hard to tell somebody you're kind of shitty, right? Like, it's hard to tell someone you're like, I don't like this, like, filthy sink full of water, right?
I mean,
or
look,
I don't know, like, I don't like waking up in the middle of the night and you're just staring at me. And I'm like, how did you get in here? Not stuff like that, right?
yeah, that's why you locked the door.
That doesn't actually happen. But yeah, I think, like, if it's but like, does this person kind of want to fuck over their roommates? Does it sound?
That I don't know, but
Because it's like, it sounds like maybe he's like, now I've got the opportunity to leave, and then they're going to be kind of like they don't have someone set up, so maybe because of how they weren't good roommates, I'm going to get back at them by taking off, and this is kind of like a way to get back at them. But I don't really understand. Otherwise, if it's not that, then I don't understand why he has any trouble communicating that he's going to leave.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if he wants to get back at them. Obviously, he has issues with them. I mean, and he didn't want to make it awkward while he's there, but now he's thinking. So it depends on what he wants to do. He can go out in a blaze of glory and basically be like, fuck off, you fucking, and just call them out on their shit and then dip. Or just be a fucking guy and just fucking be like, well, I'm out. See you later, alligator. And then that's pretty much it. Like,
there's no like exit interview. Do you think there's like an exit interview, like at a job, or like you're like, I'm just saying, like, it just seems like, why does he? I don't know what the.
Well, the thing is, he
but there is like, I can say though, because I've left places with roommates.
Yeah.
Even if you do it in like the allowed amount of time.
Yeah.
And you're leaving it on them to find a new roommate, and you're kind of like just dipping out. It does make the last like month and a half really awkward, because you have to give 2 months notice for rent. So it's like, if it's like right now, I'm like, I want to leave, like, I got to give notice, but then it's like if it's difficult for them. I remember my last place I lived at, it was difficult for them to realize that, like, what if we don't have someone to move in? Or like, it seems like even though I gave all the notice in the world, it was like they kind of like turned on me a bit, and they were kind of like, by the time I moved out, it was like, even though it was like perfectly legit that I moved out, it was like they were like both mad at me, because I was like, they looked at me like, oh, you're just, because it's like they took it personally.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that at all. It was more or less that I just needed to get out of that place. And I gave the proper notice, and I gave them notice. I'm like, hey, this is what you're going to have to, figure out, because you like, so you guys can, like, if you want to find someone else to rent, my room, great, whatever, but it's not my problem anymore. Yeah. So, and I mean, that's what the guy's worried about. He's like, maybe like, oh, like they're going to be, like, I don't know, pissed at me. But I don't know. It doesn't sound like that, does it?
Here's the thing. This is a student thing, so this is a semester thing. Anybody that's living with roommates, you know it's not a lifelong thing. There's gonna be an end day. You guys ain't gonna ride off into the sunset and live with each other forever.
Remember how I lived with Ross for like 2 weeks?
You're kind of a vagabond. You've lived a very.
I was like, I still talk to Ross about. I mean, this is a different person. No one knows what we're talking about. But I left my one friend in residence.
Yeah.
After living with him for 2 weeks, perfectly fine dude.
Yeah.
It was more or less there was these girls I wanted to live with instead.
Yeah, of course.
Because they were hot.
Pussy trumps friendship.
Yeah, and then
how'd that work out for you?
not so well, but like it was a good experience. I would say like it was a good experience because it got me out of like a residence type place. Mm-hmm. Which at that time I was like 22. I shouldn't have been in residence. It was just easier at that time. Yeah. Like I lived there all summer.
Yeah.
Because I was working at the gym at Humber. So then I was like, it was made sense I just stayed there, right? And my mom was down. She like helped me figure it out and pay for it.
Yeah.
And then, but my friends who were the girls, they were just like, oh, you'll save money just monthly. Plus, like, you don't need a meal plan. Mm. I lost a bunch of weight because I started grocery shopping and like cooking for myself. And I definitely probably spent less money overall, but it was like such a more of a hassle to get to like school. And like, there wasn't like, you know, obviously I got to go, if I'm going to go to the gym, I got to take like a bus to the gym for half an hour. And then like, and everything, it just becomes a hassle. Mm. Whereas when you live on campus, it's just like everything is easy.
Yeah. So yeah, I think with this guy, he just needs to man up, tell them that, hey, you're fucking moving on with life. And then you either take the high road and be like, all right, no hard feelings, fuck off, or you fucking get petty and leave shit in their bed.
And also, maybe fart a bunch on their mat, their
their
pillows or whatever you gotta do. Like scoot your butt around like a dog a bunch if you're kind of pissed at them. But otherwise, you're good.
Okay. Okay, I want to do one more last question. This one's a lighthearted one.
That sounds good.
Failed suicide attempt. Failed suicide attempt. Many final papers overdue. What to tell my professors? I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but let me get into the question. Mm-hmm. So I was impulsive and I regret it. I'm okay now, but I realize that time moves forward and my papers are still overdue. It's been a few days since the deadline, and their grading policy is usually -1 letter grade each day. Whatever. I know it's my own fault, so I'm not looking for sympathy, but I don't want to fail. I'm not great at communication and suicide. Is there a way to get out of this situation still passing my classes? How should I speak to my professors? Ask for forgiveness for being a shitty student without getting too personal? So
I can already tell them what to do.
So he failed. Okay.
No, he's saying he's taking too long to submit an essay, right? Is that what it is?
And he's also failed at killing himself.
Okay. Well, he didn't really talk about that, or is he just joking about the suicide thing, or that's like a possibility he might do? Cause let's level with this dude. What's his username?
Username is trying not to fail.
Okay, trying not to fail. This is what I would suggest. You talked about suicide. You talked about stress. Go to your register or like your counselor and say, I'm having mental health difficulties. And get some sort of sign off by like a therapist or doctor on campus that you have like some sort of mental stress or mental health issue.
Right.
And you'll get a pass, man.
Right.
That's the best way. Like you're going to like, you know, you gotta pass that, you know?
No. You know what? Here's what you do.
Or at least get an extension. Because this will be like something if you're like, if it's undue stress brought on by the actual thing, then there's a good chance like you could have other options. Because it sounds like you don't want to bring it to a point where you're like actually doing anything that's going to harm yourself. But if you come to the realization that like if you're just honest about it to your like the teacher and the staff and talk to a doctor, I'm sure they have them like counselors or something like that on your staff, then I'm pretty sure they could work something out with you. Like I've done like tests in like college where I'm like I was sick, or I didn't want to actually I didn't even show up to the class.
Right.
And then I'm like, well, and I talked to the teacher and they're nice about it. They're like, well, let you rewrite that. Just go to the study hall on this time and then we'll have the test ready for you. And, you know, like if they're understanding. So I don't know, just be look out for other options besides either just not handing it in or committing suicide. I
Yeah,
guess.
you know what I suggest? What you do is you go to Home Hardware, you get some Drano, and you're going to want to inject it into the bloodstream. And that's how you successfully suicide.
Is that so?
No, here's my issue with this kid is that he has all these pressures from school. And, dude, if you're having that much pressure at school where you want to take your life, guess what? Life is going to get harder. And you're going to want to kill yourself. Like, school really isn't real life. That's the truth. Like, school is such a very fucking boundary, like grading systems and rules and whatever. When you get to real life, you're not going to be ready for that shit. So I think you need to like fucking take a step back, stop worrying about fucking pluses and minuses and overdo shit or whatever. Listen, if you are having an issue, I do think you should do the thing with Kirk says. Go get some medical attention, get some help. But at the same time, you got to fucking wake up and realize that if you're cracking under this type of pressure, are you ready for real life? Are you ready for real life?
Well, like just in general, it'd be like a good way to reevaluate yourself. You know,
Yeah.
like you should reevaluate like the stress in your life and like figure out. Because like maybe you don't realize there's other stuff that's going on in your life that's causing this, like, or maybe you're procrastinating or not getting your work done because of other reasons and stuff, and your focus isn't there. Or maybe this is, like your Kevin said, this isn't the right avenue in life for you to go down if it's something that you're not connecting with. If it's becoming a chore to take these courses or like study.
Listen, he might be
might be what you want to do with your life.
He might want to be, maybe he's in medical school, maybe he's in one of these top professions where you need to get the grades, and then you're going to get, the accolades, and then you're going to become a doctor, and you're going to change the world, blah, 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 blah. My thing is that if you're cracking under the pressure this early on in the game, you need to reevaluate your shit because you're not going to be able to survive once you get higher. Like, imagine if this guy passes his one fucking test and then ends up becoming a real-life doctor, and then real life fucking happens, and he's gonna want.
No, this guy to me sounds like the guy who's like 10 minutes late for work, and he's been late a bunch. He just jumps in front of the subway.
Yeah, you're one of those guys.
So it's like, it's over. It's over.
Yeah. Quick PSA: if you are gonna kill yourself, do not do it using public transit. Not only will you probably not die, because I've heard of stories where guys get hit by trains and parts of their bodies will get ripped, but their main core survives, and then now you're like a paraplegic, and you're gonna have to live with that shit. But you're also an inconvenience. So if you're gonna do it, don't do that. Don't do it using public transit.
Like someone once said, if you thought the world hated you before,
they'll hate you.
They'll hate you even more if you hold up like a whole train full of people. So.
But to get down to this guy's problem, to this kid's problem, I don't know how old he is, but you're in school, so you're probably still a kid. My thing is take a step fucking back, right? Take your medical leave of absence or whatever. Or aren't there fucking pills that kids take nowadays, like Valium or some shit, like to calm them down, Ritalin or?
No, it's Adderall. Adderall is one. It's for like people take to study.
Yeah.
It's like basically for ADD, but if you don't have ADD, it makes you like a fucking like workhorse.
You know, he reminds me of. Remember in Saved by the Bell, Jessie, when she's like, "I'm so excited,"
and then she takes all those caffeine pills.
Yeah, he's.
But
this
like
person
what was weird about that wasn't it Zach Morris who was giving her caffeine pills, and he's like, "You got to get off the caffeine pills."
Yeah, it's because he's a fucking playa.
Remember how there's that show where he's the worst guy? And like, it's on YouTube. You guys should check it out.
Yeah, well, he's a player. But yeah, I think
is he like your idol? It's like top 10 idol.
He was. Well, his personality, but with Mario Lopez's
body.
Mario Lopez's body.
I want
Slater's body.
I want the personality of Zach Morris with Screech's hot body.
No. Screech's freakiness, because he's a big time freak.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that guy does all kinds of weird shit.
You know what they say? Zach Morris in the streets, Screech in the sheets.
Screech in my butt?
Yeah.
Plug?
Okay, anyways, any final words for this suicidal student?
if this is like a really serious thing, get medical help. Otherwise, maybe this is a good opportunity to reevaluate yourself. Otherwise, if it's not like you don't have a mental health issue really per se, other than you just got stressed out.
Yeah.
Then maybe you got to reevaluate that your whole process of being in school, and do what my friend Kevin said.
Jerk off 20 times.
Yeah, like keep those pipes clean, man. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Actually, that's a big stress. You know what? You got just stress relief. But yeah.
Sometimes I'm stressed at how much I have to masturbate to make myself calm down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's like I'm just like, oh my god, this is gonna take another few more times to.
I've developed a certain skill for that though.
You know what I've been doing lately? Salt bath and masturbating while listening to Enya. Check that out.
Okay.
That's not on YouTube. That video. It's just a thing I do.
It's a cam site.
Yeah.
Anyways,
cams.com. KirksonCams.com/Kirk/Kevin's room.
No. Anyways, I think that's it for the helpline. I think we helped at least one.
I think that the first one we did a really good job on. Like the weed and hookers.
Yeah, we actually agreed on that one. So I think we
like we both inputted something and we both agreed that those were good.
Yeah.
And I think they'll agree as well.
Yeah, and the roommate one I really don't give a fuck about.
The roommate one was wishy-washy. I don't understand why that was an issue.
But and this last one,
just pee in their sheets or something. I don't know.
And the last one is very, just don't be an inconvenience.
I guess. Or
/ take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Take care. Live your best life. # live your best life.
Yeah. Know why you're in the game.
And then beat the game.
Yeah.
Anyways, that is the helpline for the Other Guys podcast. We are now. If you have your problems and you want to get them on here, don't forget you can drop on our DMs on Instagram, or you can comment on the YouTube videos, or otherguyspodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook. You can also
we are Facebook.
You can also contact Kirk at 647
914.
Don't actually give your
Kirk.
number.
It's 914.
Don't call that number.
That's not my number, but like they might answer. So
anyways, that's what you're doing. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that social media goodness, and we will be back with more people's problems.
Click right here for that cam video from earlier.
Yeah, don't post that shit. Anyways, that's the Other Guys podcast. Bye.